All right, for more on this, let's now welcome extortion and CIT researcher Thabang Bogopa. Thabang, great having you on the show today. Thank you so much for your time. So I'm pretty sure you have so much data on the modus operandi of extortionists and others who commit similar crimes to benefit financially by killing relatives. I mean, in this case, another policewoman following, of course, Rosemary Ndlovu's footsteps. So talk to us about the type of person who actually commits such crimes. What is their mental makeup?
Thank you so much, Nhlanhla, and good afternoon, and also good afternoon to the viewers. And indeed, the kind of fraud risks, corruption that we are seeing and fraud related to insurance that is occurring, there seems to be a pattern whereby female police officials, particularly those who are entrusted with social crime prevention, are being targeted or are being part of a greater syndicate in terms of insurance fraud. But then let's look at the amount that's involved here in Nhlanhla, because it's worrisome. 10 million, it's a huge amount of money. So it tells you that somehow there were measures that were relapsed to enable these frauds to happen. And also, if you look more deeper into the details of the cases, it seems like victims from destitute families, particularly those who were, even in some instances, mentally challenged, were targeted as if they are being given more support. And that's when they were being targeted, and actually this dubious matters occurred and someone had to benefit the money. But the main question that has to be asked, you look at the profile, the level of the police official who's been arrested recently, and a bit of lifestyle audit. Did she indeed receive that 10 million? That's a question worth asking.
Very interesting indeed, Thabang. So her also being a police officer means that she's very familiar and has a lot of information as well as tact and can elude capture because she's very privy to the legal as well as forensic processes. And this actually makes them even more dangerous, I suppose, Thabang. Even their victims are none the wiser, as we see in this case. It was destitute individuals that were actually known to the perpetrator.
Yes, you'll understand that if a police official is entrusted with social crime prevention, they are trusted so much in the community because they deal with very deep challenges in the communities relating to even poverty, socio-economic challenges. But then what I want us to really dig deep into, which I think we need more focus on, is some of the measures that should have been placed from the insurance companies. What happened? How did they allow this to happen before even the claims were approved? Are we confident enough that due diligence was done on the side of the insurance companies? Then let's look at the Financial Intelligence Center Act. How could we have a public servant who receives up to 10 million and no investigation occurs? Of course, we have to congratulate and really appreciate the SAPS for what they've done now. But before this fixed matters occurred, I would have expected the FICA or the forensic divisions of the insurance companies, insurance brokers, to pick it after the first or the second one, to say, how come is this person always a beneficiary of such huge claims, and especially when they are not directly related to the people who have passed away. It should have been picked there. It tells you that we have a loophole currently. There might actually be a greater syndicate which is perpetuating even bigger crimes. Of course, we are looking at this official who was arrested, but it tells you that more crimes of this nature might be occurring. And then now this talks to the broken window theory that if a crime seems easy to orchestrate, more people will do it.
You know, Thabang, you raise a very important point there, because I just want to know, I mean, how prevalent are these types of cases, especially in a country where most crimes go seemingly unnoticed simply because they don't get a lot of media coverage like this one. But reality is they do still happen. So as a researcher, I'm sure you also work with data, a lot of data pertaining to criminal profiling, as we spoke about when we began the interview, although it might not be as glamorous as we see it on crime shows. But Would such profiling not increase awareness for people to actually spot the signs early if they suspect something and in turn actually report it before the commission of the crime?
You are correct, my sister. Indeed, more profiling would assist in terms of curbing the crime. But also, I want to put more emphasis that all these insurance brokers, they have forensic departments. They have forensic specialists or forensic investigators who are working there to meticulously verify almost each and every claim before payment. And that's the level whereby this must be detected. Then secondly, you go to the South African Police Service in terms of the integrity management policy of the SABC. Lifestyle audit should have occurred immediately when you see that we have a police official who's earning less than 300,000 per annum, but their lifestyle is above 1 million. They should have picked it from there. And of course, it is allowed, it is legal to do a lifestyle audit on any employee of the state. That's why we should have picked it. But then nonetheless, we ought to make more awareness to the communities that should they spot some of the dubious or suspicious events, they should openly and confidently report to the DPCI and other entities of the state.
And in your view, Thabang, do these crimes take place in specific places or areas? For example, let's say this person is a police officer and obviously they do have relatives in the rural areas who might not have a lot of information about so many things. So do the perpetrators actually come from certain backgrounds which then lead them to target their targets in a specific manner, knowing that, you know what, a death of an individual who's residing in a village is not necessarily going to be fully investigated?
Yes, you are correct, my sister. What would happen is that they would target vulnerable citizens in the rural areas whereby when a murder or a death has occurred, sometimes it would even be regarded perhaps as a culpable homicide or an inquest, which is that there's a death, but no one is suspected or no foul play is suspected. And then that burial would occur and they would be happy if the same perpetrator comes and gives them 20,000 or 50,000 to say, here, give me the death certificate, then you will be covering the cost of burial. They would be so happy and feel like that lady really loved us. Then they would go and shift the target to another different community, whereby it is not easy for an ordinary citizen to link that this person has claimed from the previous death of a cousin, and now they are coming in this other new village to target another vulnerable human being. So indeed, they are targeting vulnerable societies, also knowing that if you look at the police station that's involved, you can even see now SABC is bringing some of the expert investigators from outside the area. That tells you about the law enforcement capacity in terms of detection of crime. They might also be aware that if it was to be handled at that level of Sinobarana police station, it might have not even been detected. So that's when these criminals know that these are the loopholes in the policing precinct.
You raise very important factors there, Thabang. Thank you so much. Thabang, they're saying an investigation of insurance company policies needs to be conducted, as well as lifestyle audits for those police men and women that are within the force. That was, of course, extortion and CIT researcher Thabang Bogopa on the policewoman that was arrested for over 6 murders for insurance-related claims.